দর্শক আমরা এখন কথা বলবো নিউ ইয়র্ক সিটি মেয়র এরিক অ্যাডামসের সাথে। এরিক অ্যাডাম আমাদের সাথে আজকে যুক্ত হয়েছেন। আপনারা জানেন যে এরিক অ্যাডাম আগামী বছর ইলেকশন এবং বিভিন্ন ইস্যু নিয়ে অনেক ধরনের কথাবার্তা চলছে। মেয়র এরিক অ্যাডামের রাজনৈতিক ভবিষ্যৎ নিয়েও কথাবার্তা চলছে। এর পরিপ্রেক্ষিতে আমরা আগ্রহের কথা জানিয়েছিলাম যে মেয়র যদি সময় করে আমাদের সময় দিতে পারেন, বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটি জানতে চায় অনেক কিছু, যে হোয়াট ইজ ইজ ফিউচার প্ল্যান এবং তিনি কী করতে চান ভবিষ্যতে, সিটি কোন দিকে যাচ্ছে এবং কমিউনিটির প্রতি তার মেসেজ কী যখন ট্রাম্প ক্ষমতায় আসছেন এর পরিপ্রেক্ষিতে। সো তিনি আমাদের সাথে আজকে সময় দিয়েছেন এবং আমরা এখন তার সাথে কথা বলবো। মেয়র এরিক অ্যাডাম, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ ফর ইউর টাইম অ্যান্ড থ্যাংক ইউ। আই নো ইউ আর ভেরি busy schedule, but because of the love of for our community, you made the time. Thank you so much, and we are grateful to you.
Thank you. It's great to be on with you. Bangladesh community is a very important community.
Yes, thank you so much.
And your network allows information to get out, and so I thank you.
Thank you so much. We know each other. It's been a long time. When you were, the board of president, you came to our office. I remember organized a meeting for you with the community. So it's been a long time. We have a tie with you. So my first question is, okay, what is the state of city when you came into office and how it is now? I mean, how is the New York City now?
Well, the city was in a total problematic state, mainly because of COVID. Mm-hmm. We had to shut down the city. Many of our children were not in school. Our economy was really struggling. We were losing jobs. We saw that crime. We had a 40% increase in crime. No one was on our subway system. Mm-hmm. Many of our children were not getting the proper support when you deal with learning disability. NYCHA residents were not having proper broadband. Communities of color was extremely high. And so we were dealing with a multitude of issues. Mm-hmm. And within 2 years, a little over 2 years, 2.5 years, we witnessed more jobs in the city's history. Mm-hmm. Currently in New York, we saw unemployment drop substantially. Small businesses that operated. We saw over close to 20,000 illegal guns off our streets. People are back on our subway system. Over 4 million daily riders. In the month of August, robbery was at the lowest in recorded history in the subway system. And so we continue to see the city come back. Bond raters improved our bond rating. We have high-speed broadband technology in internet service, high-speed broadband internet service to all NYCHA residents for free. Mm-hmm. We really invested in our young people, from summer youth employment to summer rising to internships. And we brought communities together of different ethnic groups without breaking bread, building bonds, over 1,000 dinners of coming together, sitting down together, and as we support each other. Everything from war on rats to containerizing our garbage to war on preventing those from having support learning disabilities with dyslexia screening in our schools. And so the city is thriving, building affordable housing. We broke records in 2 years back to back in building affordable housing in the city and transitioning people out of homeless shelter into permanent housing. So you witness an administration mm-hmm. that cycled us through COVID and cycled us through 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers. That we were able to ensure that no child or family slept on the streets. And so we are really pleased by what we've done. We got more work to do, but we have moved this city forward in 2.5 years.
Okay, so Mayor, are you happy about the progress as you mentioned, or you think you should do more for the city resident to make sure their safety and security?
You always do more.
Okay.
You always do more. Safety is very important to me. Everyone knows that's the foundation for me. And when you have the random acts of violence, it gives the impression that the city is not safe, when in fact it is. When you look at it, major crimes have decreased in the city, but we're always impacted when you have random acts of violence, and much of that random act of violence, it is due to the people dealing with severe mental health illnesses. When you have a person that stabbed 3 people on our streets, that person was dealing with severe mental health illness. When you have individuals who shove citizens on the subway tracks, they're dealing with severe mental health illness. And so our what's overshadowing our success is that you have these random acts of violence, and most of them are being carried out with those with severe mental health illness. But we always want to do more. We always want to make sure New Yorkers are safe, and we're going to continue to do that.
All right, thank you so much. So, I was in your press conference, as you mentioned that New York City is not safe haven for the criminal, and the new administration, the president of the United States will be Trump on January 20th. He's going to take the oath, and then they are talking about the mass deportation. You had a meeting with Mr. Holman, who mentioned about the criminals, but not only Bangladeshi, all over the city, there is a uncertainty, there is a concern, there is anxiety going on the undocumented aliens who are living in this country, in this city, and they most of them, they are not criminal. What is the message to them? How the city will make sure they are not targeted by ICE or any other agencies?
Our goal is to always ensure those who are here receive all the support and services that the city has to offer. This is a city and a country of immigrants. Immigrants play a vital role in the movement of the city, not only paying into our economy through their taxes and through their purchasing of goods and services. They're a vital part of many of the jobs we have in this city. And so this will always be a city where immigrants are welcome. Where it won't be a city where those who come here that commit violent acts. And that is what I shared with the Homeland Security personnel that came here that was representing ICE. My conversation with him was to state, what is your goal and how do we coordinate in accomplishing that goal? His goal, like mine, is to go after those dangerous individuals who are committing crimes, like the person who set a passenger on fire in the subway system and sat there and watched her burn to death. He was illegally here. He should not remain in our country. After he serves his time, he should be turned over to ICE and he should be deported. And that is what we're functioning on. But the everyday immigrant, documented or undocumented, when they purchase something, they pay taxes. And with those tax dollars, they have a right to the goods and services that the city provides. So if they need their children educated, they should be allowed to go to school. If they need police services because they're a victim of an emergency or crime, they should be allowed to call the cops. They should be allowed to go to the hospital for emergency care. All the things that their tax dollars are paying for, they should have access to. And that is why we are encouraging those who are immigrants here, documented or non-documented, that you should still carry out your lives in a regular way. We will never participate in targeting those innocent people, but we want to be clear that those who are committing repeated acts of violence, we will coordinate with ICE to address their actions and particularly to have investigations on them.
So as you know, New York City has a Proposition 187, which the city will not, especially the city enforcement agency will not cooperate with ICE or any other federal agency to search the undocumented or detain them or catch them. This is a charter of the city. Will you uphold this charter?
It's not the I do not support any mass innocent people who are following the law, and I want to work with ICE to make sure that we have a compassionate way of dealing with anyone that they come in contact with. My goal is to focus on those who are committing illegal crimes in our city. That has always been my goal. But let's be clear that the federal government is in charge of immigration. Local mayors and local governors do not control immigration. It's controlled by the federal government. And if there's a way for me to coordinate with ICE to go after the criminals without harming everyday undocumented individuals who are doing the right thing, I'm in support of that.
Okay, if they targeted the undocumented who are not the criminal, and if city is not cooperate, and then if they take any action, what would be your reaction?
Well, again, immigration is controlled by the federal government.
Yes.
ICE has the authorization to deal with people who are undocumented. I don't think that's their desire, and I don't want to use hypotheticals when there's so many real situations we have to deal with. And a real situation I had with the border czar showed that their concern is to go after those who are committing serious crimes, which many New Yorkers support. There are no New Yorkers who support someone who burns an innocent woman to death to remain in the country after serving their time. And so Americans have clearly communicated their desire. This is what the president ran on. And we saw not only did he win the popular vote, he won the electoral votes. And so his message was a clear message, and we cannot go in contrast to what Americans are asking us to do. They want us to secure the border. They want us to make sure those who are paroled into the country are not of the criminal element or dangerous gangs. They want us to be proactive to those who are coming in the country and react to those who are in the country committing crimes. And I strongly support that.
Yeah. So about this one, New York City and you, I remember you told me your legacy will be that how you protect the people who came in the city as a sanctuary city, and you provide all kind of support. Though there is a tense between the New York City and the federal government, the way supposed to they come up with the help in their situation, you don't get that kind of help. So the new administration is coming, and then the city still remains. There is a lot of immigrants. They are in the shelter. What is their status? Will you close the shelter so it will remain open?
No, we are cycling people out of the shelters. Over 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers have entered our city that we were able to document and went into our care. We gave single adults 30 days to take the next step on their American journey. We gave 60 days to women with children to do so. Out of those 220,000 individuals, we were able to have over 170,000 the next step of journey, which is extremely successful. And no child or family will be sleeping on the streets of the city of New York. I made that clear. And so the goal is when you come to the country, like other immigrants have done, you don't come to stay in shelters forever. You come in to take the next step in your journey. And that is what we did. We gave extensive care on legal services. We gave them care on how to help get temporary protected status for individuals. We help get work authorization for individuals. National leaders have looked at what we have done and have commended us for what we have done. They said no city is doing what New York is doing, and these are national immigration leaders who are supporting what we're doing.
Okay, you are the custodian of the city, and compared to other big cities in the U.S., why the New York City is the best city to live in? How you are justifying?
For a number of reasons. No one can take away, number one, our best extensive transportation systems on the entire globe. And we're the safest big city in America. 8.3 million people. You do have some who commit illegal behavior. But when you do an analysis of New York and others, we're the safest big city in America, and safety is important. We have a wonderful school system. Employment is amazing in the city when you think about tech jobs, financial jobs, healthcare industry is thriving. We have jobs that are high income, moderate, middle income, and low income. Everyone here has an opportunity to start out and be able to move to the middle class. And we show a level of compassion for so many people. We're going to be excusing medical debt, billions of dollars in medical debt. We are allowing those with low income to have low, reduced fare Metro cards to move around. We have tax breaks for low income New Yorkers. If you make 150% at the poverty level, federal poverty level or lower, we're going to excuse your income tax. And so when you look at how we help people move into the middle class, it shows that this is the working class, blue collar city, and this is the city where we helped you get ahead and move forward.
All right, thank you. I would like to know, you are running for re-election the coming year, and there is some reports came that you will, because of your good relation with future President Trump, President-elect Trump, you could be a candidate from Republican. Is it true?
No, I'm running as a Democrat. I ran as a Democrat as a state senator. I ran as a Democrat as the borough president, and I ran as a Democrat as the mayor. I'm running as a Democrat again. I'm a blue collar mayor, and I'm a true blue Democrat. But at the same time, my values are American values, and I'm always going to stand up for the things that are important in America and things that are important in New York City. And I think Americans have communicated clearly to the elected officials that they want our borders secure, they want our living standards to be affordable, and they want to live in safe cities. And that is what I'm always going to push, and I'm always going to fight for, and I can do it as a Democrat.
And critics said your face, your dress is blue, but your heart is red. What is your comment?
Well, I say to them, my heart is red, white, and blue. Those are the colors of the American flag, and that is what my heart is. And I think sometimes people want to do litmus tests on you. If you don't agree with everything they stand for, they want to put you in certain categories. My categories are very clear. I have a red, white, and blue heart, and that's the heart of an everyday American. That's the heart that my uncle went and fought and died in Vietnam to defend, and that's the heart I'm always going to stand up for.
So your heart is red and blue both. Okay, so what is the message to Bangladeshi community? Any message?
I'm sorry?
Any message to Bangladeshi community living in New York City? It's a very growing community. They could be a determining factor in the future election.
The Bangladeshi community is a very important and powerful community. You look at its large population in Brooklyn, over in the McDonald Avenue area. You look at their large population in Queens, in the Flushing, Elmhurst area, and you look at their large population in the Bronx. And they represent what I represent. They believe in family, they believe in faith, they believe in small businesses, and most importantly, they believe in public safety. It is a community that has dedicated their commitment not only to their homeland of Bangladesh, but their adopted land called New York and called America. And I'm looking forward to them continuing to rise in this city as they continue to look after their families, embrace their culture, but also share the culture of this great country. And this community has always been a friend and ally to me as an elected official, but you're a friend and ally to the great city of New York.
Thank you so much. And just last one thing, the Windows Zario's death by police shooting. Any message to the family?
My heart goes out. As a former law enforcement officer, I responded to many calls of services dealing with people who are having a mental health episode. And I know how challenging it is, not only for the family members, but also the police officers. My heart goes out to the family members. No one wants to lose a son to any type of action when they're seeking help. My heart goes out to them. They're in my prayers. I would say a special prayer for them as we enter the New Year's. And I always want to remind people of how challenging it is for police officers when they respond to calls of services. They have to respond to these calls, and it's extremely challenging. You do the best you can to keep people safe, and that's what these officers want to do. We have over 30,000 officers that are committed to keeping New Yorkers safe, and oftentimes they walk inside a job, they don't know what they are facing, and they have to make these tough decisions. And so both civilians and our uniformed officers, it is my desire to make sure that they are safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor, for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you.
Take care.